Hello children, welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College Pune. I am Deepa Fadke. We are going to learn about the poem The Plate of Gold, which is written by James Henry Leigh Hunt. Let's know something more about the poet. James Henry Leigh Hunt, known as Leigh Hunt, was an English poet. He was a journalist, writer, essayist, critic, as well as a prominent figure of the Romantic movement in England. He wrote many varied forms of poems, such as narrative poems, short lyrics, odes, sonnets. His works are popularly known for their expressive descriptions as well as rhythmic and soulful qualities. And there are some famous poems like Abu Ben Adem, The Story of Rimini. These are his famous poems or major poems. A Legend of Florence, Lovers, Amazements are two of his major play productions. So he was also the one who wrote poetic dramas. So let's begin with the word meanings. Adjudge means consider and declare. Aghast means shocked and horrified. Assemble means gather. Basest means of lowest grade. Beckon means call. Bestowed, presented as a gift. Claimants means those who state the right to get something. Clanging is a loud metallic sound. Deem means consider or regard. Dropped means dropped. Estate, all the money and property owned by a person. Gracious means kind and warm, and guerdon means reward. Hapless, unfortunate. Hermit. Hermit is a person who withdraw to live alone for a religious purpose. Knelt, went down on his knees. Lovest, it's an archaic word, it means loves. Loveth best, here one who loves God most. Luster means shine. Maimed means permanently damaged or crippled. And merit, be worthy of. Trembling, shivering with fear. Virtue, goodness. Welled up means filled with. Whereon, on which. Wondrous means remarkable. Wrangled means argued angrily. Writ means past tense of write, that is written. And there are certain things to remember, children. Munshi is a secretary or clerk, and Benares is a holy city in Uttar Pradesh. So now let's start learning about the paraphrase of the poem, that is the meaning of the poem. We can say about the poem, children, The Plate of Gold is about our love towards God, our love towards our fellow beings, fellow men. All it matters in our life. And it is rightly said, children, the service to human beings, the service to mankind is the true service. And that's what the poem is about. So let's start reading the lines, reading the first stanza of the poem. One day there fell in great Benares temple court a wondrous plate of gold, whereon these words were writ, to him who loveth best, a gift from heaven thereat. The priests made proclamation at the midday hour, each day, let those assemble who for virtue deem their right to heaven's gift the best, and we will hear the deeds of mercy done, and so adjudge. So this way, children, the plate of gold actually is a narrative poem. It begins with a plate of gold. This plate of gold falls in the temple court of Benares. This plate of gold was a gift actually. It is given from heaven to the one who loved his God the best. And the priests also of the temple, they decided to award the plate to the one who actually is virtuous, who actually deserves it, who is actually merciful. So this proclamation has been made by the priests, and then they decided to go through different people, and people also decided to, they started visiting this temple just to try their luck. The news ran swift as light, and soon from every quarter came nobles and munshis, hermits, scholars, holy men, and all renowned for gracious and for splendid deeds. Meanwhile, the priests in solemn council sat and heard what each had done to merit best the gift of heaven. So obviously, when the proclamation was made, when the priests made proclamation, announcement, the news reached as fast as light all over the surroundings, and people like nobles, munshis, hermits, scholars, holy men, they started visiting this temple just to show their splendid deeds. And then when they came, the priests, the council of priests, used to listen to their virtuous deeds and acts. They used to hear them, and after listening to the merits of all these great people like munshis, hermits and scholars, after that, when it was tried, when the plate was given to them, to the claimants, it did not work for them. So for a year the claimant came and went. So this continued. So for a year, all these claimants came and they went. At last, after a patient weighing of the worth of all, the priests bestowed the plate of gold on one who seemed the largest lover of the race, whose whole estate within the year had been parted among the poor. So here, the priests judged a lot of people over the course of a year, and finally they awarded the plate to a man who was, according to them, was the largest lover of mankind, because he had distributed all his wealth, his entire estate, among the poor. This man, all trembling with his joy, advanced to take the gold plate, when lo, at his fingers' first touch, it changed to basest lead. All stood aghast, but when the hapless claimant dropped it, clanching on the floor, heaven's garden was again transformed to shining gold. So here, children, you need to understand that so many people tried to get that plate of gold, but definitely it was a gift from heaven. How will it go into the wrong hands? Definitely not. So even though so many people tried to grab it, tried to gain it, tried to get it, they were not being given. Even though it was been given, it turned into lead. See now what happens with this man. This man who had given all his wealth, who had parted all his wealth among the poor, and who had become a claimant, who wanted to hold the plate of gold in his hand, who advanced to take it. Immediately, the minute he held, his fingers touched, got that plate, and it changed to the base lead. That means that golden plate had transformed into a lead. Obviously, all stood aghast. All stood surprisingly. What happened? It was so shocking for all the people who were there in the temple. But when this hapless claimant, unfortunate claimant, dropped it, clenching on the floor, immediately heaven's garden was again transformed to shining gold. When the plate was dropped by this man, after getting it on the floor, after coming it on the floor, the plate had changed into a shining gold. So here you need to understand, however, the plate turned to lead the minute the priests handed it over to the claimant, and when the claimant dropped the lead plate, again it turned to gold. Children, we have learned up to third stanza. We will learn remaining poem in the next video session. Till then, thank you.